Alright, so the setup and gameplay of Africana is actually very simple. To start the game, each person is going to get a company card. That company card is going to indicate the starting location of their company marker, and each person will get that. I'm going to assume we're going to play a two-player game here, so I'm going to have one company card in Cape Town and a second company card in Jeddah, and that will go there. In addition, each person is going to get expedition markers. These are going to be used to place your marker on an expedition to indicate that you have started that expedition, and then they come off when you complete expeditions or if someone else completes the expedition. So I'm going to set those up there. Next, each person is going to get a wild assistant. This wild assistant is going to be used throughout the game. Each person keeps their wild assistant. They get used over and over. You will play it to make a move on the board to move your company marker. At the end of your turn, it comes back to your hand. So each person gets one company marker. So that's the player setup. In addition, lastly, each person is going to get two starting coins. So there's two starting coins there, two starting coins there. In a 3 and 4 player game, your third and fourth player will get 3 starting coins for going later in the round to start the game. So next, now we're going to set up the expeditions. The expeditions are split by C expeditions, B expeditions, and A expeditions. In a 2-player game, you're going to remove 10 C cards. In a 3-player game, you're going to remove 7 C cards. And in a 4-player game, you remove 4 C cards. So this is set up for 2-player, so I'm going to set my C cards down there and to start the game. Next, you're going to set up your books. There's one book located in North Africa and another book located in South Africa. There are cards for the books. The brown bordered cards go in North Africa, so you give them a quick shuffle, and then you place the cards in the book there. Southern Africa, below the equator line, the red equator line, gets the white bordered cards. The white bordered cards, give them a quick shuffle, and then you put those in the book as well. So now we've got our expedition set up, we've got our books set up. Each person has their company marker, their company card, they've got one wild assistant, and we've got the money set to the side. So the basic game is set up and ready to play. There's a few more quick things I want to tell you before we get started, and then I'll go ahead and walk through the mechanics, how the gameplay works, and then how you do final scoring. So one other thing to note in the game is, in the books, there are additional wild assistants you can collect. These are permanent wild assistants that you get. They, like these assistants, stay in your hand permanently. You will play them to move your company marker to a location with that symbol and color, and then at the end of your turn it comes back to your hand. So that's one thing to note about these. You collect these assistants from these books. There are cards in the book that match the assistant, and when you go to that location and deliver it, you actually get to pull that assistant out and add it to your hand permanently. So we are ready to begin the game. So this is game setup. Now I'm going to go through gameplay. So I'm going to start the game. I'm going to set the 5 initial expeditions. 5. Each person is going to get 2 randomly dealt travel cards. Travel cards come in the 5 colors or symbols that are used in the game to move your company marker on the board, which I'll explain in a second. So each person is going to get 2 travel cards, and then the travel cards are going to be set here to the side to be selected as a mechanic in the game. So now everyone has their company cards, they've got their wild cards, they've got their travel cards, the game board is set up, the expeditions have been set. So now I'm going to explain the game mechanics, gameplay, and final scoring. So game mechanics. There are 3 core mechanics to this game. The first one is to simply select 2 cards from the top of the deck, and those are the travel cards. So one option is to select 2 of these travel cards. You use these travel cards to move your company marker on the board by matching the symbol on the location on the board. You have to be in a position to where you can reach that next area by using the card to travel there. So that's the first action. So select 2 cards, action 1. Action number 2 is actually move your company marker on the board using your wild assistant or using travel cards that are in your hand. To do the move, you simply play the card, move the company marker, play the next card, move the company marker, so on and so forth. Cards that are not wild assistants go to the discard pile. Your wild assistant will always go back to your hand after you've completed moving. When you reach a location that matches the top location on any of the expedition cards, you can immediately join that expedition. When you join the expedition, you get the reward of joining the expedition, and the reward is located here on the top of the board. When you complete an expedition, you get to pull that expedition card, add it to your endgame scoring. It goes underneath your company marker for endgame scoring. The endgame scoring is there. That's the victory points you get for completing the expedition, and those are the coins you get immediately for completing the expedition. So expeditions grant you bonuses in 2 ways. One by joining, which is indicated here on the top of the board. The second is by the coins located at the bottom left. And you get that by completing the expedition. As many people as they want can join expeditions. So more than one person can join an expedition, but only one person can complete an expedition. So that's movement and expeditions. The last action in the game, or mechanic in the game, is to select cards from the book. So in order to select cards from the book in the north, you have to be above the red equator line here. To select cards from the south, you need to be below the equator line here. To select a card, all you need is $5. A gold coin is worth 5. You need $5 to purchase a card. By taking the card action, or taking the book action, you get 1 free card flip for that turn. Every additional card flip will cost you 1 coin, and it costs you 5 coins to purchase a card. You can purchase as many cards as you want from the books when you take the card action, or take the book action. So that's one thing to note, that you're not limited in the number of cards you can purchase. You're only limited by the amount of money you have in your personal supply. So I've explained movement, I've explained the books, I've explained selecting cards from the deck, which will aid you in movement around the board. These are the travel cards. And that's the 3 core mechanics of the game. So that's what comprises of the game. To deliver and score on the cards you select from the book, each card will have a location that aligns to the map. Like this is Leopoldville. Sorry, I don't know how to explain that or pronounce that. You'll see that's located here on the map. When you reach that destination and this card is in your hand, you can immediately score that. You score the 2 victory points and you score the 2 coins. And that goes into your personal supply for final scoring. So that's how the cards work. And the same with the wild assistants. The wild assistants will have a location at the top. Once you reach that destination, you may immediately pull one of the assistants available, wild assistants, and add it to your personal supply, and they stay with you for the rest of the game. So you keep playing round and round till you are unable to pull any more cards from the deck. So when this deck is depleted, your expedition deck, and you can't replenish the expedition board, everyone gets 1 more turn, and then the game is over. Endgame scoring is very simple. You're going to take the sum total of all the artifacts and expeditions that you've completed, total that up, and then you will subtract the number of wild assistants that you've collected. So there is a negative penalty to using these in the game. If you have 2 wild assistants in your hand, not counting the one you start with, it's -5. 3 wild assistants in your hand, once again, not counting this one, it's -10 to your endgame score. Anything beyond 3 is irrelevant. 10 is the most you can lose. So you will subtract that from your endgame scoring when tallying your final score. In addition, there are some other bonuses you can achieve here. Like you get bonuses for every 2 travel cards you have in your hand, For every $10 you have left over, you get bonuses, so on and so forth. And there's also artifact bonuses based on the certain types of artifacts and matching sets. You can go ahead and look at the book to see that in detail. So you add all that up, you get your final score. Whoever has the highest score wins. And that is Africana. That's how you play it. Thanks for watching.